Frank's Scuba Diving Career Advice by Pacificklaus. Okay, now, welcome back to my mini series about Frank's Scuba Diving Career Advice. Now, just to quickly reiterate, there are a few previous episodes. It's all linked, there's a playlist, check it out. And I also want to say again, there will be more fish, crabs, nudie pranks from underwater in the Philippines in the coming weeks. And actually 2025, I have a lot of plans to do a lot of filming. And so why am I doing this mini-series? A friend and viewer suggested that. And I have been teaching scuba up to the level of tech diving. I've taught a few tech diving courses for about 10 years in Australia and the Philippines, and I can give Frank advice because I'm not selling you instructor development courses or anything like that. So a lot of, not all, there's very good career advice online. Actually, I'm linking to Andy Davis's blog, which I think is excellent, but a lot of career advice is by people who want to profit from your career. Now, what I want to talk about today is how do you get the correct, or what's a good diving certification agency for you as an instructor to use. Let me first explain what is a certification agency. So for instance, I'm using RAID, which I think is excellent. And when I teach a course, I'm not making up on the spot I'm not making up at all what I'm teaching the students. But RAID has a course outline. There's theory, which they provide, and the students need to study that, take a quiz, and then there are in-water skills, which RAID tells me what I have to teach in order for the students to qualify for, open water, advanced, rescue diver, whatever the course is. When I'm done with that, I'm signing that off, and I'm essentially giving my word to RAID that I've taught them all there is to teach in this course. And then they get a certification card. It used to be a plastic card. Now it's essentially like a e-card and a file. And that shows everybody in the future, every dive shop or dive buddy, that they are certified to that level. Now there are different options, and there's this large, very marketing oriented American dive certification agency. I personally did my original training with CMAS. I did some training then with SSI, and then my dive master with NAUI. And I learned a lot during all of these courses. So if you then take you go to a online group, there's often a big fight, a big discussion, what's the best certification agency? And sometimes people would say, it's about the instructor, it's not about the agency. To a good degree, that's true. Will the instructor take his time or her time, observe, demonstrate properly, provide a safe, not psychologically safe, but actually freaking safe diving environment. And so the instructor plays a big role, but the certification agency also plays a big role. And the course content are similar, but there are differences. RAID, to me, sometimes you actually teach more than with other agencies, and it's quite flexible. And that can be really useful for an instructor. So if you are a new instructor, to choose the correct agency, what do you do? Well, look at the actual courses, at the course programs. That's a big deal. Number two, what you want to do is you want to see what is used in your environment. So if you use a certain agency, and then you are in Australia where nobody else uses that agency, and there's no demand by dive shops or by students to take courses from that agency, that's a problem. So that's an issue. And then, are there, if you found yourself an agency which you like, well, is there an instructor training program for that agency? Of course, right? That's a big deal. You can, in many cases, switch. That's what I did. Once you're an instructor, you can switch to another agency, but you have to take your instructor training first. What is on offer even in the area where you can go to, and where you're willing to take your instructor training. Now, there is another thing which is not trivial, which is the cost. So a lot of other agencies are somewhat cheaper, or quite a bit cheaper than the aforementioned large American marketing-oriented agency, and that makes a difference. It can make a difference for you as an instructor whether teaching diving is even economically viable. So if the fees you pay for the courses and for your yearly instructor membership are very high, then that can make it just pointless to teach diving. And with rate, when I teach a certain number of courses, it's free, and there are actually a few other agencies where this is similar. And so this is an important point. And also the individual courses, the certification fee and the teaching materials costs different amounts of money for different agencies. Cheaper prices here make a difference, and unfortunately it's the case that there is a somewhat, in many places, a race to the bottom in the cost of diving training. And this is something that's unfortunate, and I've seen I've not cut corners myself, but I've seen, and I've heard from reliable people that there's a lot of cutting corners going on. Now, you don't want to cut corners, you don't want to save when it comes to, you don't want to cut corners at all. You don't want to save when it comes to safety, how long you take with the course. You don't want to save when it comes to gear maintenance. The one point, the one item in a diving course where I think it's reasonable to save is the cost which you spend on your diving certification agency. If a course costs on the order of $50 from your euro from your agency versus 100, you can pass the savings on to your students, and that might make the course more attractive without you sacrificing any quality of your course at all. And so this is worth considering. Now, so what agency do I recommend? Well, I like Rate. For me, it makes a lot of sense. I can recommend them. There are many other agencies which do a good job. It really depends on, a lot of the factors in your diving environment. So if you're in an area where everybody uses CMAS, and the dive shop you want to work for uses CMAS, that would probably be the one to go with. So which agency to use, a lot will depend on your individual situation, but the thing I want to recommend is just look around. There are several alternatives. There are different options here. Look at all the options. So that's it. Again, support the channel. Like, subscribe. If you really like this series, send me some dough on PayPal. Again, I'm not depending on my YouTube channel for my income, but if it actually makes reasonable money, then I can make more cool videos. So see you soon. There will be one more such Scuba career advice, Frank Scuba career advice series, which will be about volunteering. So see you soon next week.